Earn the bragging rights of being the best golf team in the county. The cost is just $80 per person. For more information, go to the Marion County Leadership Foundation page on Facebook.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
It's 3 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Nice looking Tuesday morning. Hope you're doing well. Falguni Kothari is on the phone, and I may be mispronouncing her name. We'll find out in a second. She has a book called My Last Love Story. It's a novel. She is a humorist and an award-winning Indian classical, Latin, and ballroom dancer. Wow, Ram, look at that.
Impressive. I love that.
And the book is Feminism in India versus Feminism in the United States. And let's find out about this. Good morning, Falguni Kothari, and please forgive me if I'm saying your name totally wrong. Good morning.
Good morning, Larry. No, you said it perfectly, which I'm surprised that you did.
I'm surprised too.
Yeah, because I have like various pronunciations that of my name for people who are not familiar with an Indian name or with Indian pronunciations. But you were perfect, so thank you.
And where are you right now? Where are you calling from?
I'm in New York. I live in New York.
Oh, you do? And did you recently move to New York, or have you been there a while?
I've been there a while. I've been there 17 years now.
Oh, wow. Okay. And you moved there from India?
From India, yes.
Oh.
I was born there, grew up there in Mumbai, and we moved here. My family moved here 17 years ago, yes.
So I have never been to India, but we do a radio show, and we have a pretty large Indian community here in Florida. And so quite often we'll have somebody in the studio. And one time we had an Indian dancer in the studio.
Yes,
and,
oh, you did?
Oh, and she was beautiful, and she and her husband had a great marriage, and they invited us over to their house, and she did a dance recital. We watched that, and we got to meet everybody. And,
oh, wow.
And I didn't detect anything that was amiss as far as the relationship between men and women. And so I'm wondering if there is a difference, that maybe they moved here because of that. Maybe they didn't like. What is the circumstance, and what is the difference?
The difference in marriages between the Western culture and the Indian culture. I think all of this ties down to, I guess, feminism and sexism, where in India it's still more of a patriarchal society. Although, if you're talking, and I don't know how familiar you are with the Indian culture, but socially, and we still have a little bit of a caste system or a class system there. So again, it depends on the caste or the class that you belong to, that the sexism is either rampant or subdued.
Okay, and can you explain how does the sexism manifest itself? Are the women, I don't know, subjected to?
Well, the women technically listen more to the husband, or to their fathers, or to their brothers. The male members of the family would have a stronger opinion or more of a say in what's going on in the household than women do. But again, it's subjective. In my family, it's equal. I mean, I have as much of a say in everything as my husband. Mm-hmm. But I see a lot of my friends, a lot of my relatives who bow down to, the male points of view more often than they should.
Yeah, and I'm hoping the world is starting to see that nobody should be bowing down to anybody.
No, and so the feminist movement in India is really picking up.
So are you the character in the book, Simi Desai?
Yes.
That's not you, though, right?
That's not me, no.
Okay. But okay? So let's talk about the book because I want to be fair to the book. Give the listeners a thumbnail sketch of the story in the book.
Okay, so this is a women's fiction novel. It's a romantic women's fiction novel. It's called My Last Love Story, and it's the story about a young wife, Samin Desai, who promises to fulfill her husband's last wishes. Now, her husband is dying of cancer. He has a few months to live, so he wants to have a child. And also, there's a third element to this story, which is their mutual best friend, Zayan Khan. So Simi and Zayan have been estranged for a little bit. So the husband wants everyone to patch up and, be how they used to, like the Three Musketeers.
Oh, okay.
So,
and is she willing? I mean, he's asking her something pretty big to have a baby. That's pretty big stuff.
Yes, especially if he's not going to be around to even see the child be born.
Yeah. And so does this come from a real story? Like, where did the idea for the story come from?
Well, actually, so Nirvan's part of it, the cancer part of it, is inspired by, I lost a cousin to brain cancer when I was very young. So she got diagnosed when she was 17, and she succumbed to the disease 9 years later. I was 14 when that happened, when she was diagnosed. So my childhood was informed by that. I saw what she went through. So Nirvan's character is kind of homage to my cousin. And then his wife is someone, disease and cancer is so prevalent these days. I don't think there's any house in the whole world that isn't affected or has seen what disease does to a family, to a person, to a marriage.
Yeah.
And this whole story is just based on that. It's the difficult, it's the most difficult thing to go through for a husband and a wife, for a loved one, for parents, for children to see something like that.
But then you also deal with sexual assault in the novel, and they try. The women don't want to talk about it. They just want to cover it up.
They want to cover it up, and also, like, for Samin, I've left. So again, when you grow up in India, there is a stigma on the victim, especially a woman.
That's crazy.
Because, yes, it is very crazy. And also, it's a personal choice, especially for Samin, because in the book, her brothers would have supported her decision to report the rape. People would have stood by her, but it was a personal choice for her to protect a friend and also to protect herself. And I feel that even that should be a personal choice, whether you want to report, whether you want to tell whether you want to tell other people or you want to deal with it yourself, and you get the best, you get the best help you can get for yourself to deal with it. There's no right or wrong way in this,
Really?
and there's no right or wrong way for all of these things.
But then doesn't it open the door for the man who did this to feel like he could do it again?
But see, again, the thing is that the night that it happened, the man in question died.
Oh, okay. Well, then that won't happen again.
Exactly. So that's what she says in the book too, that I don't know what I would have done if he had lived.
Ah, okay. Wow, it sounds like a very interesting story. It's called My Last Love Story. I have a copy. I'm sorry, I have the cover of the book on the podcast we're doing right now. Since Falguni is not in the studio with us. How do you like New York?
I love it. I love all the seasons, and I love the energy. It's so much like Mumbai that it feels like home, and yet it feels different.
Do you know we have a lot of restaurants in our town the one restaurant that always is named one of the best restaurants in town is the Indian restaurant.
Yes, I can imagine.
You do
Yes,
you do interject humor in your book also. I mean, you talk about haircuts and how the character with the cancer, he's getting his hair cut even though he knows he's going to lose his hair and things like that. And you really come across with humor that's interspersed throughout the book.
Yes.
So tell me about your writing career. Is this a first novel for you?
This is my fourth novel.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I write romance, I write women's fiction, and I write fantasy. And I'm also a hybrid author, so I have one book that's self-published and 3 that are traditionally published. I'm also published internationally. My first 3 books came out in India first before they made their, their e-versions in the rest of the world. But this book, My Last Love Story, is my U.S. publishing debut.
And you wrote a book called Booty and the Beast. I'm looking right at it.
Yes. That's obviously a romance. It's a romantic comedy.
And we always hear that Gandhi was one of the saving graces. How do you feel? What is your opinion?
On Indira Gandhi?
Yes.
She was, in relation to feminism, even though we spoke about how backward India can get or Indians can get about certain issues, we still elected one of the first female prime ministers. That was Indira Gandhi, and this was 25 years ago. This was when I was a teenager, and we still have, and still Hillary lost in the United States. So it's such a dichotomy where you have the Western culture, which is so modern and should be so open, who could not elect a female president. And then you have India, who's so backward in so many ways, but they elected a female prime minister 25 years ago.
Well, I would hope that we elect people because of what they represent and not because of their sex. So
I understand that. But since we're talking about feminism, I'm only looking at it from that point of view.
Okay. Well, Falguni, it's a delight to have you on the show. I have a copy of the book, My Last Love Story. If you'd like the copy that was sent to me, you are welcome to it. Just give me a call and it'll be yours. The rest of us have to go buy it. I did find it on Amazon. Do you have a website?
I do have a website, so www.falgunikothari.com.
Okay, excellent. Falguni, thank you so much for being on the show today. That was fun.
Thank you, Larry and Robin. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope people enjoy the book.
I'm sure they will. We will be right back.
Here is your 30-second news brief. 3 members of the Marion County School Board ruffled some political feathers by attending a meeting Sunday to offer support for troubled Evergreen Elementary School, and now officials are saying that violated Florida's Sunshine Law. Former Florida Congresswoman Corinne Brown is asking for another 30 days before reporting to prison. Florida nurses can now apply for a multi-state license, which might boost their employment options, and spring could come early to Florida thanks to the effects of La Nina finally taking hold. And that is your news brief from The Source.
Palm Garden announces Fast Track. Fast Track, focused assessment, safe transition. When a new guest is admitted to Palm Garden, we start with the ABCs. A is the assessment to determine what the guest needs. B is for basic care, which is excellent nursing and therapy. And C is for consistency to provide what's needed throughout the stay. Fast Track. Palm Garden will get you home fast, really, really fast. Take a fast tour of Palm Garden, located at the corner of Southwest 27th Avenue and 34th Street.
We all know that sound means there's going to be some need for collision repair work, and soon. What you may not know is that it's your choice where to have that collision work done, not the other guy's insurance company. Because your vehicle is much more than just transportation. It's like a family member. So don't bring it to just any chain collision center. Bring it to Lyle's Collision Service. When it comes to getting your vehicle back to 100%, you can count on Lyle's Collision Service. They're not some fly-by-night chain company. They're a family-owned and run collision center with over 33 years of experience. Working with collision repairs and vehicle restoration, Lyle's Collision only uses quality parts and doesn't take shortcuts like some other companies. They take pride in getting the job done right and in a timely manner. They specialize in insurance claims and they strive to get your vehicle back to you as soon as possible. So the next time you hear this, remember, it's your choice. And the choice is clear. Lyle's Collision Service.
What do I do now?
After 911, don't worry, call Fakuri. Fakuri Medical and Chiropractic, treating auto injuries for over 32 years. Same-day appointments, immediate medical attention, all under one roof. Don't worry, call Fakuri. Go to bestinjurycare.com. All auto insurances are accepted. Available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to take your call. Car accident? Don't worry, call Fakuri. bestinjurycare.com.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accidents. On this Tuesday, considerable cloudiness with a shower and thunderstorm around, especially during the afternoon hours along the coast, with a high of 72 in the northernmost part of the zone to 80 in the south. There'll be a shower Tuesday evening, then partly cloudy and turning cooler later Tuesday night, with lows ranging from the low and mid-40s in the northern interior part of the zone to 57 in the southernmost part. Clouds and sun for Wednesday, highs in the 60s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
If you find an animal or a bird that needs help, call Animus Foundation at 352-843-6379. They will come and get the animal if you can't take it to them. High school students and those with court-ordered community service can earn required hours in this rewarding environment. And veterans who share a bond with animals and parents who have been through mental or physical trauma are especially welcome. Families, clubs, and tourists can arrange for tours of Animus without driving for hours or miles. Consider volunteering. Animus needs you.
You know how frogs are so hoppy? It's because they don't smoke or have COPD, otherwise they would be flip-floppy. If you want to quit smoking to prevent yourself from croaking,